Do you ever feel like you just don't have the time to sit down and read the news every morning? Sometimes things get so hectic you can't even scroll through your feeds while you're trying to get ready. A new podcast from Boise State Public Radio has you covered. I'm George Prentice, and I want to invite you to check out The Connector every weekday morning. You can get up to speed on all of the Idaho news you need to start your day without ever interrupting your morning routine. All you have to do is hit play. That's The Connector from Boise State Public Radio. Find it wherever you get your podcasts.
More Idaho Matters now from the studios of Boise State Public Radio News. I'm Gemma Gaudette. Water is a precious commodity, and in Idaho, especially the Treasure Valley, well, guess what? We've been lucky. We've had water when we need most years, but as our area continues to grow, so does our demand for water. And projections show that we could start running out of water for things like irrigation and drinking in the next few decades if we don't act right now. Krista Howarth is a community water educator working for University of Idaho Extension. Krista's been studying how we use water in the Treasure Valley and will be hosting one of the Ada County Soil and Water Conservation District's WaterWise workshop. Krista joins us now along with Jessica Harold, the director of the Ada Soil and Water Conservation District. I want to welcome both of you to the program.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, hi Gemma, happy to be here.
Krista, let me start with you. You've been doing a deep dive into our water usage and our future water needs. So tell us about why you've done all this research. What is the reasoning behind this?
Yeah, well, there's a diverse array of stakeholders involved in water management in the Treasure Valley, a diverse array of users using that water, agricultural users, residential users, and as our valley continues growing, it's going to be ever more important for water managers to coordinate about plans to meet projected water demand in the future.
So, Krista, tell us what the Treasure Valley Water Atlas is.
Yeah, the Treasure Valley Water Atlas is this beautiful Boise State University story map resource. Story maps are scrollable, map-based educational narratives that a lot of universities and agencies use to convey scientific information in a form that's digestible for the public. So folks can go on over to BSU's website and click on the Treasure Valley Water Atlas to learn about how much water we have in the valley, where it comes from, how it's delivered to our houses. And we will be releasing in the next couple weeks updates to the Treasure Valley Water Atlas, specifically focused on the impacts of urbanization in our valley.
Jessica, why is data like Krista's important to the Ada Soil and Water Conservation District?
One of our main concerns in the community is just water resources in general, making sure that we have enough water for agriculture and drinking, of course, in the region. And we're really tasked with just providing education for homeowners, for residents, for farmers, how to conserve their water, how to better manage it, and how to really protect its quality as well.
Krista, where does our water in the Treasure Valley come from? I mean, does it all come from the snowpack from the little town of Atlanta?
Yeah, ultimately it does. So we have in our valley agricultural surface water, and then we have our groundwater sources. Those groundwater sources, of course, come from the aquifer system beneath the Treasure Valley. That water is much older than the snowpack that refreshes each year, but it has ultimately ended up in our aquifer system from that snowpack in Atlanta and from surface water irrigation that has spread throughout the valley.
So, Krista, how much water enters the valley approximately every year? And so answer that question first.
Yes, about 2 million acre feet of water enters the valley from snowmelt. So that's about 2 million football fields.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So then how much of it goes out? How much of it flows out every year?
1 million acre feet flows out. So that means that remaining 1 million acre feet is used consumptively for agricultural irrigation.
So, Krista, can we talk about the demand of water increasing? I mean, we all know the Treasure Valley is growing, a lot of people moving here. That's not going to stop.
Yeah.
So, how has that impacted the demand for water? Because you've been also looking at some future projections.
Yes, yeah. So I have been reading reports and interviewing water managers, hydrologists, particularly a retired hydrologist named Christian Petrick, who recently released two reports about supply and demand. For context, in 2015, the population of the Treasure Valley was 640,000 people, and total treated water use, that's municipal water use, was about 100,000 acre feet a year. So this report projects that by 2065, 40 years from now, our valley's population could be close to 1.6 million people, and our water demand will likely, or sorry, our drinking water demand will likely double to over 220,000 acre feet a year.
Okay, so Krista, when you talk about drinking water, I think,
Yeah,
everyone's ears
yeah,
kind of perk up, right? Because I think you can't imagine not being able to turn your tap on and not have water, right? So
yeah.
how do we meet that future demand? I mean, how do we make sure that that things continue the way they are now or possibly better?
Um, well, we will be increasing our groundwater pumping, but our aquifer is not a unlimited resource, of course, and so other options will be involved. I can tell you a little bit about them now, but you should come
Yeah,
to
that'd
our
be
talk
great.
Thursday to find out all the details. Um, so
I
in
love that
addition, yeah,
pitch, but if you could
yeah.
tell us some now.
Sneak peek. Um,
Yeah.
in addition to increasing groundwater pumping, cities and counties are implementing water reuse programs for irrigation water. We will have to implement managed aquifer recharge. So, as our agricultural land shifts to urban land, we'll need to intentionally recharge that aquifer that is currently recharged through agriculture.
Mm.
And we will have to pump water from the Snake River into Lake Lowell, and we'll have to divert water from the Boise River downstream of Star back to upstream users. So these and more, we'll have to, diversify our assets and
Hmm.
coordinate this whole variety of options.
Krista, is there anything anybody can do right now, just like an average homeowner?
Yeah, absolutely. Water conservation is necessary at all levels, individual, neighborhood, and city. I think the biggest practice is just changing how we water our lawns. The typical method of watering is too for too short a time too frequently. So just by changing up
Mm.
how you water your lawn, watering for a little bit longer, but then maybe every few days instead of every day is going to promote deeper root growth, which will ultimately use less water for your lawn.
Jessica, talk to us about these classes that you offer and really how important they are, for the average person to maybe gain a little bit more knowledge.
Of course, these classes are a really great way for individuals in the community to realize that collectively we have a lot of power. These classes are important to the conservation district because if our community is well informed, they can make better choices. And we can all make a really big impact by each realizing that we do have the capability to make changes that really make a difference. And so if we are all starting to do like better watering in our lawns, for example, we could save so many acre feet of water a year and really change the course of our water usage. So whether we're making decisions just for our home or if we're realizing that maybe we're managing a company, whether it's a landscaping company or a manufacturing company or anything, really, we're all using water and um, maybe looking to kind of take back some of those decisions and realize that I can have an influence in our community. So we think that by having people attend these classes, by people just knowing what's going on, they can make better decisions to really make a difference.
Well, I want to thank both of you so much for coming in and talking with us about this. We've been speaking with Krista Howarth, a community water educator working for University of Idaho Extension, and Jessica Harold, the director of the Ada Soil and Water Conservation District. We've been talking about Krista's upcoming WaterWise workshop. It will be this Thursday. It's titled A Sustainable Water Future for the Treasure Valley. You've been listening to Idaho Matters from Boise State Public Radio. I'm Gemma Gaudette.